Hi Terry, it's nice to meet you almost face to face for this asynchronous lesson. Thanks for sending that video over. It's super helpful for me to see where you're coming from, because describing it on the phone is one thing, and then me actually seeing what's going on is a totally different thing. So I appreciate you saying that over there. Lots of great stuff in there, man. Your left hand looks really good. You have a lot of mobility in your left hand. You have a lot of flexibility in your left hand. That's great. It's going to be really great for us to work on some more stuff and improve that even more. You have a good tone on your guitar, right? You have a nice sense of melody. Right? Things to work on though will be right hand stability. I see a lot of bouncing in your hand that's knocking you out of position. I can see that, obviously with the nerves and everything, that's like the first thing to go. And that, to be honest with you, that's why we have survived as a species. Those who did not feel that fear, your body doesn't know the difference between if you're going to play Bach or if you're going to wrestle with a mountain lion. It does not know the difference between those two things. And the reason why we are here today is because those who felt that fear would run up the tree, and those who did not feel that fear did not run up the tree, and they were subsequently eaten. So it is just biologically in us to get nervous in situations right there. For me, it starts over here. My knees start shaking and kind of travels this way, goes around, and then what always ends up shaking when I get nervous is my right hand over here, and I remember so many times it will start to do this number right here, and I'm lucky I got off stage alive. But there are things that we can do to minimize that fear and to minimize, what's the word I'm thinking of? Things that, we can make things more regular in your playing. So rather than just kind of throwing your left hand, or sorry, you're throwing your right hand at it and start picking away, we can think of positional frames and things like that with the right hand. That'll give you more stability and give you something to hang on to. The more we can hang on to when we're nervous, the easier time we're gonna have in escaping that kind of feeling of like, oh my God, I'm out of control, right? And you can probably hear my assistant over here, who is helping me for today by watching his videos. So. Right, bud. So anyway, like I said, great playing in there, and if we fix those couple of things, you're gonna notice a real big change in your playing. I'll just start at the top and work my way down, and see how much time we have for this. So with finger style in popular music, like country, folk, singer-songwriter, more often than not, it's probably most likely going to be Travis picking. Right? Named after guitar player Merle Travis. What that means, if you're not familiar, you might already I hadn't asked you. Basically, it's a way of playing melody with your fingers and accompany it with the bass with the thumb. I played the next section, but I'm in drop D, so I'm gonna do that today. All right, man, so first thing is that Travis picking pattern. We have right hand positional frames, just as we have left hand positions when fretting bar chords and things like that up and down the neck. So my capo here at the 3rd fret, we'll pretend this is 0 fret. And then like 1st position, 2nd position, 3rd position, 4th position, so on and so forth. The same way we have positions over here, we have the same thing, exact thing over here. That's right, buddy. We have the same exact things with our right hand, with positional frames. And if we understand the positional frame that we're in, that'll help mitigate a lot of that bouncing that you're doing, trying to jump from part to part, trying to jump from string to string, and making silly mistakes, right? And it's exacerbated by nervousness, right? But the more we're in control of the positional frame and aware of what it is, you can be more, okay, I'm secure, I'm feeling good about what's going on here, I'm confident, and that'll help kind of bring that stress level down, hopefully. Now, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? So it'll take time, but we're doing our best. So the first Travis picking pattern we'll look at is what I call 5/4 outside in. You're right there. He bounces. So what I'm gonna do, so Spanish terms for the left hand finger, for the right hand fingers, P for thumb, I for index, M for middle, and A for ring finger. We're not going to use this one today, right? Because the Travis picking pattern for a landslide doesn't require that, but we'll get there. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my thumb and place it right here on the 4th string of the guitar, right? And then your index finger is going to be on 3rd string, and then your middle finger is going to be on 2nd string. What I have done is I've put my right hand into 4th string position, because my positional frame is such as this, where my thumb is based on the 4th string, my index is always going to play this string here for right now, and your middle finger will play this string, the 2nd string right here, right? So I call this a 4th string position. That's my frame that I'm going here. That gives me something to hang on to without bouncing my hand around doing all this business right here. All right? So if I pick that, oh, there you go. If you notice right here what I'm doing this picking pattern, I'm not swinging at the string. I don't pick strings. I push strings out of the way. So when I play a string, I touch it and then I play. Otherwise, I'm just getting glancing blows. Let's say this music stand here, if I just get a glancing blow, but if I firmly touch it and then push down, I'm gonna knock this thing over. If I just get glancing blows, I'm never gonna knock it down, right? Same thing with this here. You'll feel more firm and connected to the string if you touch the string a moment before you play. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna 4th string position, and then we're gonna be in the 4th string extended position. I'm gonna take my thumb here, I'm gonna move it up here to the 5th string. So my thumb is going to control the 5th string and 4th string. 5th string and 4th string right here. My index finger is going to control the 3rd string. My middle finger will control the 2nd string. That's how it's going to be. And those fingers are only going to play those strings and nothing else, right? That way you'll get used to being in a positional frame and not bouncing and rolling your hand back and forth. So what I'm going to do is I've written up this pattern for you here in tablature. I'm assuming since what you played there was more intricate, I'm assuming you read tablature. And take my thumb up here. And I'm not rolling my wrist up this way. If you notice here, when I moved to the 5th string, where I moved from, these guys stayed absolutely still, hovering over top of the respective strings, and I extended position, I extended my thumb up to the 5th string. So rather than rolling the hand this way and knocking everything out of alignment and therefore hitting wrong strings occasionally, or all the time, that's how I used to be, is that these guys parked over here, I extend that thumb up, and I'm gonna do this picking pattern. Thumb, middle, thumb, index. Now, if you notice what I did there, I didn't just play the strings, but I was resting on the string next. What I was doing there was thumb, as soon as I play the thumb, the middle finger's down. So, I was doing the right pattern. So thumb first, so thumb on 5. Index is already touching, or sorry, middle's already touching. Check that out. My thumb went and grabbed that 4th string right away. It's touching it before it plays. And then index finger did the same thing. Play, prepare, play, prepare, play, prepare, play, prepare. If you do it this way, and you prepare your strokes before you play, you're always going to be touching the string. Therefore, the shakes, the infamous shakes, I get them too, right? I still get them sometimes, a lot of times. This has saved me on stage when I start feeling the fear, and there's nothing you can do on stage once you feel the fear. All you can do is keep clear head and go breathe. You've prepared well enough. You've prepared these strokes. And this right hand pattern, this play prepare, has saved me on stage more than one occasion when I start feeling that shakes. But my hand is always touching the string, so it gave me something to grab onto. Play, prepare. So do that one more time. Play, prepare, play, prepare, play, prepare, play, prepare. So what I did there was that I played that pattern and I was always preparing the next thing. Would always be this slow note, but what we do first is get you used to touching the string a moment before you play. That'll reduce all that wonkiness in your right hand over there that's giving you a hard time, right? So I'll do this. I'll pick that first chord in landslide, C chord. So we're always preparing. Hanging on to the strings. I'm always touching the guitar in some way with my right hand. And then what you do that slow, right? Just the right hand. We're not going to put the left hand in there quite yet. You get comfortable with that first, right? That might be an evening right there. It's harder than it looks. And then what you do, you try to maintain relaxation, that sensation. Actually, I check in my mind's eye when I'm practicing right hand patterns. I close my eyes and try to really feel my index finger. I try to feel my thumb, and I try to feel that contact point with the string to make sure I am getting a firm, nice strike on that string. So I'm pushing that string out of the way, not plucking out of the way, right? Nothing like that. Always touching the string a moment before. I isolated one problem at a time. I'm not putting the left hand in there because I'm not there yet, right? I'm gonna be, but don't try to do a quick left hand shift and then try doing the same thing in the right hand, because you're just learning this, and you're not gonna throw another difficult thing into it that it's gonna take your attention away from what you're working on. So then what I do is this. All right, I'm feeling good about that. I practiced that for the last 20 minutes, make sure I get good contact points. In my mind's eye, I am feeling my index finger. I feel that index finger, I feel that middle finger, I feel that thumb. I'm not rolling, I'm watching what I'm doing. On the camera right here, I'm watching what I'm doing, making sure I'm not rolling this way, right? My hand is staying in one spot. And then I do a burst. I try to maintain that same relaxation, the same contact points, feeling the same thing, but I'm gonna try to double the time. While I'm doing this, I get out my best friend. He's my best friend in the world. He never lies to me. Right? I get him on my phone. Right? This friend of mine, he's great. He doesn't lie. He doesn't ever lie to me. He's always honest with me and tells me everything that I'm doing, if I'm doing something wrong, if I'm not in time. This friend is this guy. Pull him up here. Metronome, my best friend ever. He never lies to me. He tells me when I'm in time and out of time. One issue that you're facing, and goes down to point number 2 over here, is rhythmic accuracy. You have a nice sense of melody. I can hear you hearing notes connecting from one to the next, which is great. A lot of times people don't hear them, because also don't go crazy. I can tell if someone's not hearing the melody by it being disconnected or not having some sort of sense of arrival or beginning or ending. I heard that with your playing, which is good news. The only issue is that the time kind of meanders a little bit when you're playing. So I hit the start button one more time. Always touching. Right? And I double the time. And by doing this, I am getting my right hand to memorize that pattern, that picking pattern. Once I can do that pattern memorize, what was happening when you're playing, I call it tennis guitar, where you're here, 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 here. So you got your right hand in position to the pattern, then you had to look over here, and then it had to switch, so therefore you lost time in that transition there. If your right hand knows the pattern, I'm not looking at my right hand necessarily. That's when they go, oh wow, that's gonna need it, does that on its own. But you're programming your right hand to do the same thing every single time. Slow and in control, feeling every string with my fingers, feeling the contact point on the flesh of my finger. Slow down, and then I double. Now, playing with a metronome, if you're not used to doing it, can kind of be kind of weird in the beginning. Trust me, it's worth getting over that learning curve hump of playing with a metronome, because the reason why you're having trouble playing with a metronome, if you're having trouble playing with the metronome, is your timing is not quite right, and you're coming to terms with like, okay, now it's time to sync up with something. Let's speed this thing up here. Once I can do one burst, then you see how long can you do that burst for without losing your positional frame. right? But I got better, I got good at doing that. No mistakes in there, but what you gonna do? It's more important to be on time sometimes. I got better at picking evenly and consistent finger picking patterns, which created the illusion of speed. So you don't want to have shifting time with your pick pattern. Get that down first, and then once you get the right hand down, then you practice the chord transitions at that point. By first, can I strum them in time? Can you hear the harmonic rhythm of the song, how fast the chords are moving? If you find that it's difficult with one hand, one switch is harder than the other. So see if I was playing this happened. See, if like something like that happened, I wouldn't go any further than that. I would literally go, okay, the transition between the C and the G was wonky. There's something in there that's going on. Now, that's who you play. That's who you do an example of it. I'm trying to think what yours is, but so I practice with the metronome that chord transition. Is everyone going where they should be right away? That might be dropping the ring finger and then the ring finger comes back up again. Right? Is the first finger jumping around. So some people might do that when they transition, it may eat up time, right? So I isolate what that is, do it in time with the metronome, and then when I can do both of those things, when I can do both of those things separately, that's when I put them together. And I don't play the song, I loop that part. Right, I practice that part. I don't loop the song, I loop the excerpt, right? Oops, oops. That's my own advice. That's it. So my T hasn't kicked in yet. That was a successful practice session because I didn't just loop songs, you know, oh God, why is it not sounding right? I'm just gonna, I have to play it 30 times before I can do it without mistake. No, I stopped and go, okay, that right hand pattern is not up to snuff yet, right? I'm bouncing too much, I have to practice that first. My left hand was too slow, my index finger was going the wrong direction in the chord change. That was eating up time, that was a mistake there. Practice that separately, and then I take those two things, and only those two things, and then stick them together like any further in the song. That is practice. Practicing is not just playing the song on repeat all the time, then okay, after the 40th time it actually sounds like the song now. If it takes you more than a couple of times, you gotta still keep on working at it. So, cool man, I think I hit all my points right there. If you have any questions or have any comments about that or want me to look at anything, feel free to shoot it on over. If not, looking forward to seeing you in person at the studio on Friday, 8:30 p.m. All right man, take care, bye.